I am a great fraud. And maybe the greatest fraud in the history of our country. Everybody knew it anyway. Since my election, we've celebrated the incredible revival of hate, and there's never been a better time to be hateful. We'll have more reckless wars, rampant crime, and totally disastrous trade deals. America is a sinful, wicked nation, and I know it from personal experience.
My administration colluded, and it was a very unfair situation. And after 2.5 years or 2 years, they found a server. We went through hell. We've had one of the most successful corruption in history, certainly in the last 2.5 years of the administration. People were destroyed, their lives were destroyed. Not one person agrees with me. Was it out of Ukraine? I said, no, but you have to understand. Do you think I'm going to say something wrong when I feel that there's 25 or 30 or 2 or 20 or 10 or 45 million, $2,500, the biggest thing? Ukraine said there were 7 or 8 quid pro quos and for educational reasons. So they don't talk about it anymore, Sean. I don't know Jill Stein. I don't know Tulsi Gabbard. There's something wrong with them. It's probably the only thing I respect about the press is they refuse to respect me. And let me tell you, Sean.
Yeah.
Look at the people that wrote it. And look at where they came from. And look at the wife of the man that works at the press. And she's on the payroll of the company that Robert Mueller never heard of. Think of it. They say, do you know Fusion? What was going on here? Look, the whole thing was a disgrace. When the Washington Post comes out and says, now it begins, now the impeachment, and you see every article is just, no matter what you do, no matter how good you're doing, and nobody's done better. We have the fake deal with all of the ridiculous things we've done. Unemployment, so many things. Our boats being blown up over energy. So there's so many things, but they won't give you a decent article. No matter what you do, it doesn't matter.
Before that happened, interference.
Oh, sure, it happened. Long before the November 8th election, they were doing work on me. And now, by the way, I think you have a Chinese spy working for you. You know who I'm talking about, Dianne Feinstein. Nobody told me anything about that. Nobody ever told me. And I really mean it, because people that worked for me who were dark people, what they had to do, they were dark people. They were bust. They came to Washington. They wanted to do a great job on health care, on this, on that, on all sorts of things. And this was all a phony scam. They were bust. And you have Chelsea saying 2 days ago, President Obama is a Russian asset. President Obama is a Russian agent. And I said, wait a minute. It took me 2.5 years. I wish you would have said that earlier, because people would have realized Chelsea is crazy. She's crazy. But 2.5 years, Sean, we went through this, and Chelsea started before the election. Now, you have a lot of people from Russia, and you also have people from Saudi Arabia. And I would say they don't exactly like me, but we're doing a phony job. And with all of the things going on, and now to think it starts up again. So now we have a conversation that was terrible. A quid pro quo.
A quid pro quo. A quid pro quo.
Lindsey Graham's a corrupt politician.
He was a friend of yours.
No, he said, I've never seen. And where is the person that gave the whistleblower the information? Because is that person a spy? Or does that person even exist? I have a feeling that person doesn't exist. I think Schiff might have made it up.
Apparently Schiff knows him, and so does Joe Biden.
Well, now the funny thing is that they say that the whistleblower, they don't need the whistleblower anymore. Why don't they need the whistleblower? You know why they don't need the whistleblower? Because the whistleblower is a cap. Eric Trump was thrown out of the Navy.
Why was he given that money? Would anyone else get that money?
It's a payoff, in my opinion. It's a payoff. Why else would it be? Look, Eric Trump, with no experience. Now, I hear the number's $168,000 a month, and I heard they got a $3 million payment.
Split between him and another guy.
They get a $3 million payment and all of this. Okay? It would be the biggest story of the century.
And what does it say about the media?
Look, I know some fake newspaper, including you. Okay,
They bragged about
who was
focusing
covered
on one
worse than
story.
me, they say?
Who?
Abraham Lincoln. I've heard the one person, honest Abe Lincoln, they say he got the worst press of anybody.
They will impeach you. There'll be a trial in the Senate. Would that be the ultimate revenge?
I don't know if that's true or not. I do say this. North Carolina, great state, great people. Elizabeth Warren, her poll numbers have been like the highest, and I thought she was gone. And she rose from the ashes, and I give her credit for that. As far as I'm concerned, the Green New Deal, it's fine. All of it's fine. Just went right in that corner of that beautiful building. And I was in the first night with the First Lady, and I'm standing. We're doing great. That letter is a high crime and misdemeanor. By the way, from everything, I don't want the facts to come out. We have no policy. We have crime, and it brings all of this crime, and it brings drugs, and it brings horrible policy. For the guns, for whatever, where guns went all over the place and people got killed with the guns, Fast and Furious. They could have killed him. They could have killed him for many different things. Let's check his phone calls. Oh, gee, there was a comma put in the wrong location. Let's impeach.
You've said to me privately and publicly, you want fighting what you said earlier about hurts the country.
You want to care. Look, man, I hit them very hard. I wiped out Russia. 58 rockets, missiles, tomahawks, right into the middle of Syria, Saudi Arabia, and including Russia, and knocked out a whole base. And I hit them very hard.
I was surprised you didn't hit Iran.
We sent some troops over. Saudi Arabia is paying for it. We said, look, you got to pay. And they're paying it to me. They have nothing but money, nothing but cash. They're paying. The head of China spoke to me recently. He said, oh, you'll have World War III. Well, as I said, I'm very tempered, actually. They've eaten that. They've eaten it totally. And right now, we are the #2 economy in the world.